Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm really pleased to see the weather today. It's somewhat cloudy, so it's not too hot. I think it will only top out not even high enough to melt gallium today. That's kind of my breaking limit. When it gets hot enough to melt gallium, that's when I start to feel desperate and upset and anger problems. And one of these days, I'm going to have to order some gallium and just go outside to make crystals without needing a hot plate, so just for fun, just to show you guys how hot it is here. I just hate to do that because after I'm done with it, where am I going to keep it? Right, in the refrigerator? I mean, that's just kind of sad, right? All right, but I. I want to move out of Phoenix, in large part because of the weather and the way it interacts with other aspects of my life, right? So, for example, when I was living in Seattle, Washington, there was times when I was heartbroken. There were certainly times when I had a cold or a flu, right? Maybe not COVID-19 at the time, right? I even dealt with an eczema when I was in Seattle for some time. I've had eczema on and off as a kid, right? And sometimes, if I'm not careful with my lifestyle, it can come back at me. I had a really bad case of food poisoning one time. Had to get antibiotics through an IV, and but I was dealing with that with much more pleasant weather. Right, it did rain there, but it never felt uncomfortable. Right, it never felt like. To give you an idea of how hot it gets here in Phoenix, it was, I think it was June, July last year. I had gone somewhere and I needed to look for something in my car. And I turned off the engine, and before I knew it, I couldn't even take 2 seconds to look for something that I need. I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was getting ready for a lecture or something, and I had something to demonstrate. And I put it in the back seat. I couldn't find where it was, some papers, some slides, whatever. I literally had to turn the car back on just to look for something. And we're talking 2 seconds. Another time, I had driven, I was getting ready to move from one apartment to another. You know, I live with roommates. And I had driven to a former apartment. They had done renovations and I had moved out and I thought they might have been done. And I had knocked on the owner's door and they weren't home. And I decided to leave a note on the door. Hey, I'm interested in renting this place again. I got out of my car and got some pen and paper. I was just about to write the note, and it's so hot out here, I don't even have 2 minutes to write the note. I literally had to go back in my car, turn on the air conditioning, and then write the note. And it really had, to give you an analogy, think back to when you were in high school, and you went to your girlfriend's home, and maybe her parents didn't approve of you, and her dad is shouting at you and wants you to get out of the house, and he doesn't care that you can't find your car keys. It's lost in the sofa cushions. That's the analogy of how hot weather and not even having 2 minutes to look for something in my car felt. That's not a bad analogy, but it literally brought me back to that kind of a feeling. But it the hot weather may not be so bad in its own right? But it makes every little challenge 1,000 times worse. Hot weather on its own probably isn't going to destroy my mental health, but the backdrop of hot weather makes heartbreaks, makes illnesses, makes work stresses, everything multiply. That's the best way I could describe it. Right? I don't know if that sounds right. Hot weather on its own it's enjoyable when it is, right? After all, I go into saunas at the gym all the time, right? I don't complain about being hot there, right? It's the hot weather as a backdrop for other stuff that I have a big problem with. I'm so pleased to have a day like this. The other thing is that the recent hot weather has been acting as a sort of pressure to get me to meet the right person, because I don't want to spend next summer alone again, right? All right, please continue to pray for me by leaving a like on this video. This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Let's sing that again. That felt really heartfelt for some reason. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.